This is what they claim. It's just a matter of time before we're able to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. Reality, as Allah said, create a fly. Let's see what you can really do. And we know they can't do it. Knowledge of this name, Al-Bari, also should give us a sense of confidence in that Allah, being the originator, He has revealed certain knowledge to His final prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if He relates to us something in the field of science, then we have to believe that what He has related is the truth. Because Allah is the ultimate scientist, if there is such a thing. He has knowledge of creation in its totality. And He is the one really creating. Nobody else can. So, if we consider, for example, we talked about challenging scientists, modern scientists, to make for us a fly. If we consider the issue of the fly, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us that if a fly falls into your drink, you should put him in, throw him out, and drink. Because under one wing is disease, and under the other wing is a cure. The Prophet, may God's peace and blessing be upon him, passed on that information to us. Now modern scientists say, no way. This is proof that your prophet is a false prophet. He told you this, that there's cure and disease in the fly. We, big scientists, have only found disease in the fly. We haven't found any cure. So this is not true. So your prophet is not a true prophet. For us, we say no. You haven't found proof that there is no cure. All you can say is that you haven't found a cure. The fact that you haven't found a cure, does that mean there is no cure? No, it isn't. That's not proof that there is no cure. All it proves is you haven't found it. So, modern science does not disprove the statement of the Prophet, may God's peace and blessing be upon him, that in the fly there is both disease and cure. The fact that we can only find disease doesn't mean there is no cure. If somebody were to tell us 100 years ago that in the poison of the cobra, whose poison is so strong, one bite and it's just seconds before you're dead. If somebody were to tell us 100 years ago that there is a cure for heart problems in the venom, the poison of the cobra, what would be said? They would say, are you insane? That's madness. How could there be any cure for the heart in the venom of the cobra? What we know is from the venom of the cobra's venom stops your heart from beating and you die. So how could there possibly be any cure? But today, we have in Bangladesh and India, cobra farms, where cobras are raised and they're milked for their venom. And the venom is sent to laboratories in Europe and America, and they extract from it medicine which is used for heart patients. Allahu Akbar. This is, Allah is the greatest. What was considered to be impossible, unlikely, unthinkable, is now reality. So, in the same way that scientists at that time would have denied this, would have rejected it, scientists today are rejecting the statement of the Prophet, may God's peace and blessing be upon him, simply because they don't have knowledge. And unfortunately, some Muslims are caught up in this, because they've had some scientific backgrounds, they studied science in school, university, whatever, and they've come under this influence. And so that's raised for them doubts about what the Prophet has conveyed to us. And that is shaking the foundation, the roots of the faith itself. But Allah is Al-Bari. He is the originator. And He knows best His creation, as He originated it. So if there's a cure, and He revealed that to His messenger, then we should know that there is a cure. We don't have any doubt about it. We don't have to wait until 10 years, 50 years, 100 years from now, when scientists find the cure for diseases that the fly carries in the fly. We don't have to wait till then. The snake, who has poison, when he bites another animal and he eats that animal, if he didn't have the antidote to his poison, he would himself be dead. So we have a snake having both the poison and the antidote. And there are a number of plants in the plant kingdom that are like that, where the harm which comes from it through some kinds of reactions that people have, skin things, the treatment of it is there within the plant itself. So we have it in both the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, where animals and plants contain both the harm and the cure to the harm. So it is not unusual. Having not found it in the case of the fly is not evidence of its non-existence. The third point that I would like for us to consider with regards to the effects of belief in Al-Bari, the name Allah, the originator, is that it confirms for us, for the believers, that everything besides Him is created. Everything besides Him is created. If He is the creator, the true creator and originator of everything, then everything besides Him is a part and parcel of His creation. Therefore, anyone who would claim or would put forth or promote something or someone to be God who is actually from His creation, this has to be rejected straight away. This name Al-Bari affirms that Allah is the only God. So if, for example, we have Christians who claim Jesus is God. Jesus is God. So a simple line of reasoning with them to try to bring them to what is reasonable and logical is to ask them, could you, as a Christian, do you feel there is any way that you could become God? That you could become God, the creator of this universe? And of course the person would say, no. And when you ask the person why, they would say, because I'm a human being. I'm a created being. How can I become God, the creator? If they tell you, yes, well then, you're dealing with somebody whose mind is not there. They've lost their minds. So, trying to reason logically with such a person, there's no point. Now, if the person says, no, I couldn't possibly become God anytime, now or in the future, because I'm a human being, then the next logical question to ask the person is, was Jesus a human being? Was Jesus a human being? Was He born, circumcised on the 8th day, drank milk from His mother, was small and grew up, got bigger and bigger? Was that Jesus? Was He a human being? If the person is honest, he will say yes. Jesus was a human being. And the next logical point is then, He couldn't possibly be God. If you said you couldn't be God because you're a human being, then if Jesus was a human being, He couldn't be God either. For a person who is open-minded, just hasn't really thought this thing out. He was just born in a family where everybody told him Jesus was God from the time he was a child. So he grew up believing Jesus was God. He didn't stop for a minute to think about it. Does this really make sense? Everybody says it. So he just goes along with it without stopping and thinking. A person who's honest, when this is presented to them, then they will say, oh, I never thought about it that way. Yeah, I guess Jesus really couldn't be God. Simple. But, of course, not everybody's going to respond in that way. It's not going to be necessarily that simple. Other people, for example, who know where you're coming from, when you ask them, was Jesus a human being? They're going to say, well, maybe half. He was a human being, but he was God also, Or he appeared to be a human being, but he really was God, or something like this. They'll try to find their way out because they know that the next thing is going to be proof that Jesus couldn't possibly be God. So they're not honest. They're not really wanting to know the truth. They just want to defend their faith at all costs. So they will put aside what they feel to be true, what they know to be true in their hearts, and just go along with the standard line. So this basic name, Al-Bari, the originator, gives us that sense of confidence that everything besides God is His creation. Everything besides God is His creation. So nothing should be worshipped besides Him. If everything besides Him is His creation, then He alone deserves our worship. And that's what knowledge of Al-Bari, the originator, the 17th name of Allah, impacts. This is how it impacts on the faith of the believer. With that, dear viewers, we'd like to thank you for being with us in this segment of our program, In the Names of Allah. And we hope that you will continue to follow this series, learning from each and every name something new about Allah, which will help you in your worship or in your knowing Allah, as it has helped me in preparing it. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
When you are weak and the road seems